In the beautiful, vibrant kingdom of Omo-Ik, nestled within the heart of the Igbo lands, a young prince named Ike was known for his wisdom and kindness. His father, King Is, ruled justly, and the kingdom thrived. Yet, Prince Ike, restless and curious, yearned to find true love, a love that saw him for his soul and not his title. With the blessings of his father, Prince Ike devised a plan. He would disguise himself as a beggar and wander the village, searching for a maiden whose heart was pure. Thus, he shed his royal garments, donned tattered clothes, and smeared his face with dirt. He became Obinna, an orphan from a neighboring village, seeking food and shelter. Disguised as Obinna, Prince Ike ventured into the bustling village market. Women bartered for yams, traders sold vibrant fabrics, and children played, their laughter echoing through the air. Obinna approached a fruit vendor, his stomach growling. "Please, kind woman," he implored, "I am an orphan in need. Could you spare a piece of fruit?" The vendor, a stout woman with a kind face, handed him a banana. "Take this, my child. May the gods watch over you." Obinna thanked her and moved on, his heart warmed by her generosity. Yet, his journey had only just begun. The next day, Obinna walked to the river banks, where women washed clothes and children splashed in the water. He sat under a tree, watching the scene unfold. A young maiden named Adana caught his eye. She was fetching water, her movements graceful and strong. Gathering his courage, Obinna approached her. "Excuse me, I am a stranger here and very hungry. Could you spare some water?" Adana looked at him, her eyes filled with empathy. "Of course," she said, handing him a calabash filled with water. "Drink as much as you need." Obinna drank deeply, grateful for her kindness. Little did he know that this was the beginning of a faithful connection. Adana lived with her uncle Dike and his wife, Neka. They were harsh and unkind, treating her more like a servant than family. Yet, Adana remained kind-hearted and strong, finding solace in the simple pleasures of life. One evening, as Adana prepared dinner, her uncle stormed into the kitchen. "Why is the food not ready yet?" he bellowed. "I'm sorry, uncle," Adana replied softly, "it will be ready soon." Dike glared at her. "Hurry up, or there will be consequences." Adana nodded, her heart heavy but determined to endure. The following day, Obinna returned to the market. He saw Adana again, this time helping an elderly woman carry her goods. His admiration for her grew, but he remained cautious. He approached her as she rested under a tree. "Thank you for the water yesterday," he said. "I am still in need. Could you help me find some food and work?" Adana smiled warmly. "Of course. My uncle's farm always needs extra hands. Come, I will speak to him." Obinna followed her, hopeful yet aware of the challenges ahead. Adana introduced Obinna to her uncle. "Uncle, this is Obinna. He is an orphan from a neighboring village and needs work." Dike looked Obinna up and down, suspicion in his eyes. "Very well," he said gruffly. "He can work in the fields. But don't expect any favors." Obinna nodded. "Thank you, sir. I will work hard." As Obinna labored in the fields, Adana often brought him food and water, her kindness unwavering. They began to form a bond, one rooted in mutual respect and genuine care. Weeks passed, and Obinna continued to work diligently. He watched Adana closely, observing her kindness and strength despite her harsh circumstances. One evening, as they sat by the river, Obinna spoke. "Adana, why are you so kind to me, a stranger?" Adana smiled. "My mother always taught me to help those in need. It's not their fault they are suffering." Obinna's heart swelled with admiration. He realized he was falling in love with her, but he kept his true identity a secret, wanting to be sure of her feelings. Neka, Adana's aunt, noticed the growing bond between Adana and Obinna. Jealous and spiteful, she decided to intervene. One evening, she confronted Adana. "You are spending too much time with that beggar," Neka sneered. "Focus on your chores, or you'll regret it." Adana stood her ground. "Obina is a good person, and he helps us. There is no harm in being kind." Neka's eyes narrowed. "Remember your place, girl. You are here because of our mercy." Adana's heart ached, but she refused to let bitterness take root. A fierce storm swept through Omaik, causing destruction in its wake. The village was in chaos, and many homes were damaged. Adana's uncle's house was one of them. They had to rebuild, and Obina offered his help without hesitation. As they worked side by side, Obina saw Adana's resilience and compassion. Despite the hardship, she remained a beacon of hope for those around her. Obina's love for her deepened, but he knew the time to reveal his true identity had not yet come. The village prepared for the annual Yam Festival, a time of celebration and thanksgiving. The air was filled with excitement and anticipation. Adana and Obina helped with the preparations, enjoying the rare moments of joy. During the festival, Obina watched as Adana danced, her movements full of grace and joy. He longed to reveal his true self, but he needed to be certain of her love. As the night wore on, he resolved to test her one last time. Obina decided to tell Adana a fabricated story about a distant village where he could find work and better his life. "I must leave soon, Adana," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "I have heard of opportunities in a faraway land." Adana's eyes filled with tears. "Must you go? This village needs you, and so do I." Obina's heart ached, but he needed to be sure. "I must. But I promise, if I find a way, I will return." Adana nodded, her heart breaking. "I will pray for your safety, Obina." The next morning, Obina prepared to leave. Adana walked him to the edge of the village, her heart heavy with sorrow. "Take care, Obina," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Obina embraced her, his own heart breaking. "I will return, Adana. I promise." As he walked away, he vowed to reveal his true identity soon, knowing that Adana's love was genuine and pure. Obina returned to the palace, shedding his disguise. He stood before his father, King Is, ready to share his journey. "Father, I have found the one I seek. Adana is the maiden whose heart is pure and true." King Is smiled. "Then it is time to reveal yourself to her and bring her to the palace." Obina nodded, his heart filled with anticipation and hope. He knew the road ahead would be challenging, but he was ready to face it with Adana by his side. Prince Ike, now in his royal attire, returned to the village. The people were astonished to see the prince among them, and whispers of his presence spread quickly. He made his way to Adana's uncle's house, his heart pounding with anticipation. Adana was in the yard, tending to the garden when she saw him. Her eyes widened in shock. "Obina." Prince Ike smiled. "It is I, Adana. But my real name is Ike, and I am the prince of this land." Adana's heart raced. "Prince Ike, why did you disguise yourself?" "I wanted to find true love, someone who would love me for who I am, not for my title. And I found that in you." Prince Ike took Adana's hands in his. "Adana, your kindness and strength have captured my heart. Will you marry me and become my princess?" Tears filled Adana's eyes as she nodded. "Yes, Prince Ike. I will marry you." The villagers cheered, and the news spread quickly. Adana's uncle and aunt were stunned, realizing they had underestimated the girl they had mistreated for so long. The palace buzzed with excitement as preparations for the royal wedding began. Adana was fitted with beautiful gowns, and the palace staff treated her with the utmost respect. She felt overwhelmed but grateful for the love and support she received. Prince Ike ensured that Adana's family, including her uncle and aunt, were invited to the wedding, hoping to mend the broken bonds and bring peace to their hearts. The day of the wedding arrived, and the palace was adorned with flowers and decorations. Villagers gathered to witness the union of their beloved prince and the kind-hearted maiden who had won his heart. Adana walked down the aisle, her heart full of love and joy. Prince Ike stood waiting, his eyes shining with admiration and devotion. They exchanged vows, pledging their love and commitment to each other. Adana and Prince Ike began their new life together, ruling the kingdom with compassion and wisdom. They worked to improve the lives of their people, ensuring that no one went hungry or suffered needlessly. Adana's uncle and aunt, humbled by their niece's new status, sought her forgiveness. Adana, with her kind heart, forgave them and welcomed them into her life, hoping to build a better future for all. As the new princess, Adana faced her first challenge when a neighboring kingdom threatened war. Prince Ike and Adana worked together to negotiate peace, using their wisdom and compassion to resolve the conflict. Their efforts were successful, and the neighboring kingdom agreed to a treaty, bringing peace to the land. The people of Omaik celebrated their leader's bravery and wisdom. One day, a mysterious healer arrived in the kingdom, claiming to have the power to cure any illness. Prince Ike and Adana welcomed her, hoping she could help the sick in their kingdom. The healer, an elderly woman named Kem, proved her abilities by curing several villagers. She became a trusted advisor and friend to Adana, teaching her the ways of healing and herbal medicine. The annual Festival of Lights approached, and Adana and Prince Ike planned a grand celebration. The palace and village were adorned with lanterns and decorations, and the air was filled with excitement. During the festival, Adana and Prince Ike lit the first lantern, symbolizing hope and unity. The villagers followed suit, and the night sky was soon filled with the warm glow of countless lanterns. A stranger arrived in Omaik, seeking an audience with Prince Ike and Adana. He claimed to be a messenger from a distant land, bearing news of a hidden treasure that could bring great prosperity to the kingdom. Intrigued, Prince Ike and Adana listened to his story and decided to embark on a journey to uncover the truth. They gathered a small group of trusted advisors and set out on their quest. The journey led them to a hidden cave in the mountains, where the treasure was said to be hidden. The cave was guarded by ancient traps and puzzles, testing their wits and bravery. With teamwork and determination, they navigated the challenges and finally reached the treasure chamber. Inside, they found not gold or jewels, but ancient texts filled with wisdom and knowledge. Prince Ike and Adana returned home with the ancient text, realizing that the true treasure was the knowledge they contained. They shared their wisdom with their people, improving their lives and ensuring the prosperity of the kingdom. The people of Omaik celebrated their leader's return, grateful for their bravery and wisdom. Adana and Prince Ike were blessed with a child, a son they named Chike. The kingdom rejoiced at the birth of the heir, and celebrations were held throughout the land. Adana and Prince Ike vowed to raise their son with the same values of kindness, wisdom, and compassion that had guided them. An elderly sage arrived in Omaik, seeking an audience with Prince Ike and Adana. He had heard of their wisdom and kindness and wanted to share his knowledge and guidance. The sage, named Ozoemena, became a trusted advisor to the royal family, helping them navigate the challenges of leadership and governance. Mysterious darkness began to spread from the nearby forest, threatening the kingdom. Crops withered, and the villagers grew fearful. Prince Ike and Adana decided to investigate the source of the darkness. With Ozoemena's guidance, they ventured into the dark forest, facing dangerous creatures and overcoming great obstacles. They discovered that the darkness was caused by a powerful sorcerer seeking revenge. The sorcerer, angered by an ancient grievance, had cursed the land. Prince Ike and Adana confronted him, using their wisdom and compassion to appeal to his better nature. Moved by their sincerity, the sorcerer lifted the curse, and the darkness dissipated. The kingdom was restored to its former glory, and the people rejoiced. As the years passed, Adana and Prince Ike continued to rule with love and wisdom. Their story became a legend, inspiring future generations to value kindness and compassion above all else. They built schools and hospitals, ensuring that their people had access to education and healthcare. The kingdom of Omaik prospered, becoming a beacon of hope and unity. Adana and Prince Ike grew old together, their love only deepening with time. They watched their son, Chike, grow into a wise and compassionate leader, ready to take on the mantle of leadership. As they neared the end of their days, they looked back on their journey with gratitude and joy. Their story became a cherished folktale, passed down through generations, reminding the people of Omaik that true love and kindness are the greatest treasures of all. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.